OB Gaming pulls off the huge upset over Noble to conclude Week 4 of the Rainbow Six Pro League. To talk about all of the sieging, we've got Rob Flynn joining us. How's it going, Flynn?
Creative.
I'm doing it. Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. Sam Jarvis, formerly of SK, or still on SK, sorry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us out there who are very not creative with names.
Yeah. Did you have a name before and you just eventually switched it, or that was it?
That's always what it's been.
Oh my God. Okay, let's break into the teams instead of your name right now. We got to talk about Obey, because they have a massive upset. Sorry. Not only was it their first win of the Pro League, but it was also Noble's first loss. So what did Obey have to do to get Noble's first loss? Like, that's crazy.
Long story short, Skies just had to carry 15 frags in the game.
Easy.
10-round game on Oregon. I mean, when it comes down to it, that entire team of Obey gets a rap for being a team full of fraggers. Maybe not the most support players on the roster, and yet every single member on Obey can take a game out of control like that. They can pick up double-digit frags. Every single one of them have done it before. That just never happened to this point for Obey. Up until the Paris major qualifiers, Obey looked lost. The coordination wasn't there. The frags weren't coming. They looked like ghosts of themselves.
Yeah.
They get through the Paris major qualifier doing really well, and they actually qualify for the major in August. And they go all the way through the bracket. They look unstoppable, and they come into their game against Noble, pulling off the same things, really. It was an advanced roam game on defense where Skies was basically doing everything he could to carry the team, and 6-4 win. It came close. Noble was still putting up a good fight. Noble, on the other hand, also subbed out Acid for ZZ coming into the game, and yet he took to Twitter to apologize for that and said that the benching of Acid was a mistake, and he'll be coming back off the bench for next week. So a 1-week benching for Acid, not the end of the world in this new setting. If we were in the old format for Pro League, they'd have their backs against the wall. They could not lose for the rest of the season, or they'd be done.
It's good to me, because I just like shooting things. So the fact that you can just be a frag team and still get a win, there's hope. There's no hope for me.
There's no hope for me. No, but you mentioned Yeti, because despite obviously the loss with Noble, he really stood out as a player to watch. He did so well. So why is this guy so great?
Yeti's always been a standout performer. It's in his nature, it's in his blood. He's always a person to take control of a game, take control of a team. Played with him a couple times before, and he's always very calm, reserved, and controlling in communications. He knows how to grab hold of a team that's spiraling into panic, calm everyone down, refocus them, and bring them back into an arrangement that will be successful. We saw it on WBG, the former Pro League roster that Yeti was a part of a couple seasons ago, in which maybe the rest of the roster wasn't doing that well, but Yeti was still that constant rock. He's always been consistent, he's always been a top performer, and he's always been a great IGL.
Now, I want to talk about Space Station. They were off to a great start in the RPL, but then they were dropped by SK Gaming. Do you see them as a top-tier team?
Absolutely. SSG, with the new additions of Rampy and Shuttle, look like monsters. The first couple of games of the season, they looked dominant. No one could slow them down. Paris major qualifiers come around and they don't look as hot at the gate, so I think there's something they're trying to change, something they're trying to improve on, and it's taking a little bit of time. But SSG heading into the season were my dark horse to take the #1 seed in NA.
Yeah, so you see them keeping it up, just a little bit of a slump.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Let's talk SK Gaming, because I need to know what you think they need to do to actually push themselves to the top.
Continue exactly what they just pulled off against SSG and EG. Outstrat everyone. We're not playing your We're not playing your game plan. You're playing ours. That's all SK does, and that's what was making them so successful back when they were Flipside. SK are a team that, if you try to play meta against them, it's going to go 50-50. You try to play their game when banning out Thermite on border, and the very, very slow play style they pulled out against EG, they dominated. They made EG look like fools on border. A consensus top 2 team in North America, and SK looked like they were going to be a bottom team after 2 weeks. They come out firing. The last 2 weeks, they've taken down 2 very strong teams in NA by simply adapting their play style. They've gone from maybe a hyper frag, very fast-paced attack in the beginning for the first 2 games to the last 2 games playing very slow, reserved, methodical, and trying to outstrat with operator bans.
Okay, I want to get your thoughts on this right now. EG and Mousesports played to a draw in Week 4. Do you agree with this win, draw, lose scoring kind of system, or do you think matches should just be all or nothing, that's it?
No. So this whole draw situation is a bit of a mess. So first of all, we used to have best of 3s. Now we have best of 1s. So we're only playing 1 map. The way the justification comes out, this is 14 games in the season. You play each team twice, so you get 2 maps. So technically, you could phrase it, and this is what ESL has done, is you're phrasing it as 7 best of 2s. The draw situation has been a problem for pros. The draw situation has been a problem for fans. It's going to lead to a lot of parity in the standings as well, which we've already seen in North America, where the difference between 1st and 7th seed right now is 3 points.
That's insane.
Oh my God.
So it just seems weird because then you have to probably come down to tiebreakers after that. How do they decide tiebreakers? Is it just from frags? Is it from
Round differential.
Okay.
So rounds won versus your rounds lost, your differential is what your tiebreak is. So right now there's 3 teams at the top of the standings with 7 points. Number 1 right now is SSG. Number 2 should be Rogue, and number 3 should be, I'm blanking, it should be SSG on the 3rd seed.
It just seems like unnecessary work. For people that try to okay, well now we got to figure out the tie breaks and what if there's a tie there.
But they can't get rid of it now. They have to play through this.
Yeah, so we're stuck in the system.
Yeah.
That was the same thing for the last season as well. We were on kind of an intermediate system, so we were still playing out the old double elimination bracket style while we knew this new long format season was coming, but we didn't know about the best of ones until a couple of weeks before the season. And that came out as a huge shock, and all the pros have been very vocal about their detest for the best of ones, especially no overtime.
For sure.
If it's a best of 1 and you at least give them overtime again to have a win or a loss definitive result, I think pros and viewers would be a lot happier.
For sure, yeah. Just as a viewer, I want to see a definitive end. We need to talk about this whole thing that happened with Cloud9, though, because Rogue got a free pass this week because Cloud9 forfeited. What the F went down there?
So, DreamHack Valencia begins today for the tournament. C9 booked their flight for Monday, which was the Pro League play day.
Oh.
ESL asked if Rogue and C9 would play on last Friday. Rogue declined the reschedule. They said, you can't make it. We know you can't make it. We're taking this free win.
I mean, here's the thing. Can you blame them? Because it's it's competitive. That's top level. You're fighting for money and everything now. It's you take the wins where you get them.
Like I just said, there's a 3-point differential being 1st and 7th.
Yeah.
You want 3 points for free, you take them.
That seems odd that C9 would do, did they not plan ahead?
It's just a scheduling error because it wasn't them. It wasn't the actual players who booked the flight.
Right,
it was someone else who booked the flight for them.
Sure.
They see the conflict on the schedule. They can't return the tickets. They try to reschedule with Rogue. Rogue has the right to decline the reschedule. They took it.
That should make for an interesting rematch.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm just curious then. Do you think it's going to be a problem going forward in the Pro League that teams won't be able to attend certain tournaments or miss some matches because of these tournaments?
ESL has had a lot of scheduling issues in the past. We've just seen that with the Challenger League qualifiers, the Paris Major qualifiers, and now the U.S. National qualifiers. Everything lining up on the same day at the same time, heading into 3 and 4 a.m. in the morning each night. So I think there needs to be an overhaul at the top level for all the scheduling conflicts. But I believe once that's done, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
There are the Pro League this isn't like Counter-Strike where there are a bunch of different venues to play.
Yeah.
It is Pro League, and then you have other tournaments. But Pro League is your #1 priority at all times.
Fair. I do want to talk to you about, because we've discussed this already, but I want your take on this whole pick ban system that they've now implemented, because obviously it changes the meta. So have you seen it play out these first 4 weeks?
Well, the #1 example is SK again. They banned so intelligently against EG. They banned intelligently against SSG in both of their games. And if you can manipulate the operator bans in your favor, if you're winning that op ban phase, the map almost becomes irrelevant. If you can play a certain play style where you know you're going to be affecting the enemy team in the way they play, you've scrimmed them before, you've seen them play before in other VODs. If you can win that op ban phase, it's almost more influential than the map bans.
Now, we're almost out of time here, but I just want to kind of know, always have to ask the question, are there any players that we should keep an eye on, or you're keeping an eye on specifically, that's just really been impressing you, or is on the comeuppance?
As far as SSG goes, I've been really surprised by Rampy and Shuttle, both of them being picked up, just the cohesion there. And I mean, every single team other than Rogue and EG have made roster changes heading in. So there's a lot of new faces on new teams to kind of look for. Other than that, I'd probably say NVK right now is playing way below his expectations, his own expectations, the fans' expectations, everyone. I think he's going to have a massive bounce back, and EG is going to start heading towards the top of the standings again.
Cool. Nice to hear, man. We're out of time here, but it's been a blast. So how about we get him to join in the lounge? You down for that?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Thanks, bud.
No problem.
We'd love to learn.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
I hate when you do that. It's obviously Sonic. Okay, anyway, let's talk to Flynn now, because I'm done looking at your face. Flynn, welcome back.
Hey.
This is the lounge portion where we get to dive deep.
Is this not comfy?
This is very comfortable.
Right.
comfy.
So, yeah, we want to get you comfortable, and then we just plow you with questions.
Okay.
First question, do you like Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah. I've only played a couple of the games, but I like
Okay.
Sonic.
I like
Okay.
Sonic. Cool. You know what game I know he likes, though?
League of Legends?
Yeah, that's his favorite game.
No,
It's probably Rainbow Six. And
Maybe.
something that I heard recently, some people had some gripes about spec. This is a big thing in esports. It's like some esports are really hard to watch. And I heard R6 is no stranger to that. There's some, I guess just sometimes it's confusing, like people are switching cameras too much. Do you find this as well spectating? Do you guys get your own view of this, or do you have to watch what the camera switcher's doing?
As a caster, you kind of pick up on the chaos that comes out in Siege, especially being a higher level player, you pick up on the chaos. But the spectator does have a lot of issues right now in which that there's a lot of POV focus when sometimes an overhead would be better just to see the overall breakdown. The overhead exists, but we only have one spectator slot available right now. So you have to make the
Wow.
choice between POV or overhead. At LAN, there is a certain build that Ubisoft has kept private to themselves that has 2 spectator slots.
They're keeping
So
the goodies.
for Invite, we had 2 spectators going at the same time. The problem was that one of them kept dropping out, and their computer kept crashing, and a bunch of spectator bugs on top of that as well. So there's a lot to be fleshed out still. The foundation of this game has a lot to be built upon itself still. It's in a rough place, but it will get better over time.
I do like the overview. I like just top down, looking at where everyone is, especially in R6. Like there are so many different ops doing many different things, and when you just focus on that one person, you're building the story. And the same can be said really like when I'm watching Overwatch, for example. Like it is quite difficult, especially if the spectator, like something's happening somewhere else on the map and you're not there with it. Like it really takes you out as the viewer, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the problem with Siege is that there are plenty of instances in which there will be 2 individual portions of the map that both have action on them at the same time, and a spectator at that point just has to guess which side am I going to pick up the most action on. Also, which side is going to be the most influential on the round. You want to pick the portion of the map that's going to decide the map. You want to show the viewers and give the caster something to talk about. That will actually have some merit to the round. It won't just be some aside thing that's happening across the map away from anything that's important. I think what we really need right now is either to open it up to the 2 spectator slot for everyone. So the online main build, everyone needs 2 spectators. That would be really nice. And then from there are so many more options you can have. You can have a dedicated overhead and a dedicated POV cam and swap back and forth in production. Or you could have 2 POV at the same time, but be able to swap back and forth between those 2 sides of the map.
So what then is like what's that main feature you would like to see thrown into spectator, like a dream feature?
A much cleaner swap between POV and overhead. Right now, it's a very clunky setup.
Oh, it's just whoop, whoop.
Yeah, it will have a slight animation,
Makes that
but
noise too. Whoop, whoop.
it still confuses you a lot when you jump out from the POV
True.
to the overhead. So I think if it was a little bit tighter in and a little bit easier to swap to,
Perfect.
fans would have a better time.
Dang, thank you
Listen
so
up.
much. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much to Flynn and Razzleplasm, of course, for Skyping in.
Next episode, we got the goods with Tom F. Battinger breaking down some more Smite.
FGC is popping with Sonic Boom, so LES is going to join us to help us. Well, we have to understand it, basically, Brody and our plebs.
Yes, and with classics like Place of the Week, Crowd Controlled, and All Chat, you do not want to miss it.
That's right. Do not forget to hit us up on all the socials at Heads Up Daily TV. We have a love, baby.